Welcome back, MMAOddsBreaker. Today, Frank Trigg. Of course, we got the bull John Makdessi getting ready to fight Cerrone coming up here in just over a week, right? Today's Friday. We'll be making weight in a week from now, and then you'll be fighting in approximately 8 days. So obviously, end of camp, everything's done. All the hard sparring's got to be finished now, right?
Well, I mean, I train up all the way up to the fight. Sparring session tomorrow is my last day of sparring session.
Okay. The injury bug, it's pretty apparent when it comes to UFC fights. So a lot of guys get injured, and part of the thing that at least Dana White's come out and said it, a couple other guys, other managers and stuff have said it, that going too hard so late in the training camp is potentially a bad way to get hurt. What kind of things do you put in place to keep you from getting cuts, getting broken, getting hurt? Not only besides just picking the right partner, because we all know you're not going to have some new guy walk into the gym and, oh, there's John Makdessi, he's getting ready to fight in the UFC, and have some new guy coming in and try to rip your arm off, and that causes you damage. So obviously you have the right training partners, but what other things do you do? Is it particular protective gear? Is it particular sets of rounds, or how the rounds are placed, or what do you do?
Well, you know what, man. It's a little bit of combination of stuff. It's a little. My philosophy is about training smarter, not harder. I mean, at the end of the day, the intensity is there, but with controlled aggression. We try to. I try to. At the end of the day, sparring partners you can't control. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part of the game. You're gonna have freak accidents. You're gonna have injuries. You're gonna have a lot of ups and downs. But the goal is, the only thing I can focus on myself is my nutrition, training smarter, my recovery. My emphasis is a lot on nutrition and recovery. A lot of fighters, they are not educated. I've been working with a guy called Ben Hoffman. This guy is he took my nutrition to another level. Ever since I met him, with my weight cutting process, and not only with the weight cutting, but to be able to cut weight and perform and feel good, in a sense of able to train high intensity every day. High intensity every day is very hard to do. And I find that this is what's going to separate me from every other fighter, because of I went through other gyms, I went to training camps, and I see a lot of guys burning out, and their emphasis too much on the weight cutting and not on the performance. I just find it's a combination of a lot of stuff. Having structure, having routines, being smart. Understanding your body, listening to your body. A lot of guys, they focus on volume, and that's how you get injured.
Right.
When your body is breaking down, there's no more progression. It's like CrossFit. MMA is like CrossFit. It's a lot of volume, a lot of different skills. So the goal is to simplify. I simplify stuff. I focus on mastering the technique. I have a system, I have a structure, and I listen to my body. When it's time to push, I push. When it's time to press on the brakes, I press on the brakes. And I find that with experience, with time, with Charles, I just find it takes time. You need to understand the body. You need to know when to push, when to not to push, and to be smart in sparring partners, because guys will try to hurt you in the gym, but at the end of the day, for me, it's I gotta be smart, because in the fight, the guy's gonna try to hurt me, so I can't. It's controlled aggression. We call it controlled aggression, and I try to. At the end of the day, man, it's inevitable. You can't control that stuff. Injuries, it's a part of sports, but what you can't control is how you prepare yourself.
Right. So you've got everything in place here at the end, but how long was this training camp for you? How much time did you actually spend, preparing? Because it wasn't that long ago that
Yeah.
you competed.
Well, to be honest with you, at first I was very hesitant. I was very nervous, because I'm jumping from back to back fights, and I never did this before in my life. But having a good team, I spoke to my team. My team told me, John, you're in the best shape. This couldn't happen at a better time, because you've been consistent in the gym, because you're fighting. You just finished fighting a Muay Thai guy. Now you're fighting another Thai guy, similar style, tall. That coming hard forward at you, gonna put the aggression. I've been working. For over a year now, consistent. I'm preparing my body. I've been training for this for my whole life. So for me, when the opportunity presented itself, I would have been I would have been an idiot not to take it. At the end of the day, if I want to be the best, I gotta beat the best. And this is another big test for me. So my last fight, Shane Campbell. Yes, he was a new guy in the UFC, but people don't know he was a Muay Thai champion, over X amount of 90 pro fights, a much bigger guy than me, and I beat him at his own game, and that just proved to me that my system works.
For the folks at home that don't realize this, he fought Shane Campbell April 25th of 2015. He's now going to fight Donald Cerrone May 23rd of 2015. So we're talking about 28 days in between fights.
Yeah.
Which is like old school UFC style. It's just like old school fighting. Like when the game first started, when I first got into the game, it was you were looking for fights, and all of a sudden you'd get like 3, 4, 5 fights, within 4 or 5 weeks of each other. Depending on how this fight goes, and depending on obviously there's a lot of factors involved, damage or whatever. If the UFC you win this fight against Donald, they call you 2 weeks later, would you go back to another back-to-back fight and fight a third time? Within say under 8 weeks, under 6 weeks.
I mean, you know what? It has to make sense. For me, it has to make sense. I'm 30 years old now. I find that time is clicking. I don't have a big time. My goal is to be world champion. I want to be the best. So I mean, it has to make smart. It has to be a smart in a business perspective, and also if I'm gonna take the risk, it has to be worth my hard work. I dedicated myself for a long time. I've been working so hard for the past 10 years now to get to this point in my career, and at the end of the day, I'm taking it day by day. I'm 200 feet at a time, focusing on the process, and that's all I can do. I can't really control the fight night. The fight is gonna come. The fight is gonna take care of itself, and we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, I do want that title contention. I'm 30 years old, like I said, and I've been dreaming about this for a long time.
So, how do you see this fight breaking down? You say you've been training for a Muay Thai guy. Last obviously Shane Campbell's a Muay Thai guy. Cerrone's a Muay Thai guy, but he's got a great set of submissions. Where Campbell really was never going to threaten you with any kind of submission game. Cerrone's going to threaten you with a submission game very, very early. Like it's going to be apparent. If he can't hit you hard to knock you out, he's going to start trying to make it a grappling match and looking for that submission game. So, what did you have to add into your training camp in the last? Really, you only had like 2 weeks of real training, to get ready for this one. The deal with Cerrone's submission game, because all of a sudden it's going to be a different process than with Campbell.
I mean, I'm training day in a day basis with monsters. And the thing about me is that people don't really, they look at me as a striker, but the thing is about me is that I got a lot of tools in my grappling. I wrestle with wrestlers. I grapple with grapplers. I strike with strikers. See, my goal is to be an exciting fighter. Fans want to see excitement, and this is why I take the risk, and this is why I'll keep it standing. Look at Chuck Liddell. Look at Chuck Liddell's career. Look at Mikko Krokop. A lot of guys. At the end of the day, At the end of the day, it's entertainment. And I want to stand out from the other 155 division. I want to stand out from every other fighter. Every other fighter is okay on the standing, is okay on the wrestling. Everybody's is okay, but I want to be great. I rather master a technique versus I look at quality versus quantity. If the submission is there, I'll take it, but I'm not gonna tire myself up. If Donald Cerrone is gonna tire himself up to try to submit me, it's gonna be a long night for him. I'm preparing at the gym. I know his strengths. I study his footages. I know what he's gonna try to do. But at the end of the day, I'm focused on. I believe in my skills. I work tremendous with Olympic wrestlers. I worked with jiu-jitsu grapplers, and I work with different guys in their specialty. And how I train, I train like a Navy SEAL. I put myself in the worst situation possible, and I work my way out of it. That's how I train. That's my training. That's why training smarter than training harder. A lot of guys don't train situations. That's all I do is situational training. I'm gonna put myself in a triangle, and I gotta work from a triangle. I gotta put myself in a rear naked choke, and I gotta work from that. And that's my preparation. This is what's gonna bring my confidence, because Donald Cerrone is not gonna know what hit him, because at the end of the day, I hope to God he underestimates me, because every other, I'm a smaller guy. People never saw my ground game, and that's perfect. It's like poker. I'm not going to show all my cards. Why should I show my cards? If one thing is working, I'm going to stick to it. I'm not going to, I got a lot of tools in the toolbox. I don't have to show it all in one fight.
This is John Makdessi, the Bull, get ready to fight Cowboy Donald Cerrone here on May 23rd here in Las Vegas. John, I'll actually be in the arena. I have tickets for this one. I dug into my pocket to watch, to come out and get a couple of tickets for my girlfriend and I. And it's been a long time since I've been actually in a live event. It's been a while since I've actually been there watching a live UFC event. How exciting is it for you when the fight's done and you're in the crowd and you're able to sit down and relax and watch the rest of the fights now as a fan, as opposed to being a participant as you're preparing to try to get ready for your fight? Because and this is for the folks at home. After the fights are over, you have tickets to go sit in a seat. So you're not sitting backstage the entire time. So you're done with your fight, you shower up, and then you go sit down in your seat and you can watch the rest of the card if you choose to. How much of a fan are you?
Actually, they I don't know if you're aware, but they switched it up. My last fight,
Oh.
I couldn't go back to sit. I stay in the back. They keep you in the back, and then they let you know if they need you for after, or you take a bus back to the hotel.
Oh, so
Uh,
there's no more for the fighters to go out front and watch the rest of the fights. If you want to watch it, you have to watch it from the
the
closed
back.
circuit TV inside
Yeah.
the locker room. Oh, that sucks because that was one of the highlights of it. Is when I get done. Of course, most of the time I was on the later card, but I'd get done and be able to go out and sit in front and watch the rest of the card. Like it's great to be a fan. Like to sit there and really be a fan for these events.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Honestly, I find with maturity and just being able to stay calm and
Mhm.
composed, I just keep telling myself I've been competing since the age of 6. You know, a lot
Mhm.
of people put too much emphasis on fight night, focus on too much on the outcome, and see the amateurs focus on the outcome, the professionals focus on the process.
Mhm.
And that's what separates people. You know, everybody's counting their days. I'm making each day count. You know what I mean? And that's all I can do. I can't focus on winning or losing, but I can focus on how I prepare and how I keep my state of mind, you know, and for me, that's all I can do, you know, is control the controllables, you know, I can only control myself. And you know, for me, I try to stay composed. I try to enjoy the journey. I'm gonna, you know, I visualize the fight over and over in my head. I visualize so many things in my brain, you know, working with a sports psychologist, working with a nutrition coach, having a good team, you know, it helps me, you know, build my confidence and just as a professional, I take each day, I'm accountable for what I do, you know what I mean? So, you know, I can only, you know, I just, you know, it is what it is, you know, and I'm excited to be a part of this, you know, at the end of the day, this is history, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for me, I want to build For me, I want to build my legacy. You know, I want to build my legacy. Donald Cerrone built his name. Donald Cerrone had his opportunities. Now it's my time to build my name and to build my opportunities.
I love it. Thanks, John, so much for coming on here with MMA Oddsbreaker. It's gonna be a great fight. I can't wait to sit in the arena and watch this one develop. To me, this is gonna be a really exciting fight. It's a different different statures. Obviously, you're shorter than Donald is with his range and his length. But watching how both of you guys are gonna battle and come inside and make this an exciting fight because both of you guys have the same mentality of it's got to be an exciting fight. Let's make some entertainment out of this battle, and both of you are gonna go out there and try and win. So it's gonna be great for us as fans to sit there and watch this one. I can't wait. Thanks again for coming on here, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, brother. Like always. Thank you.